Hi guys, this is Debanshi. I'm back with a video again, finally. I apologize from the very beginning. You might hear a couple of noises from my background because of the locality I live in. I live near an airport, so please understand that and please pardon me for that. But that is not important. What is important is today I'm back with one of such videos which were the most requested on my channel, and that is I'm going to talk about the PI-WAT session of SLAT, that is Symbiosis Law Aptitude Test. Like always, I would like to make a couple of things clear before I actually begin with the video, and that is I'm no expert when it comes to interview, personality tests or writing ability or anything as such. But people look up to me for this advice because I have gone through these phases in the past, and that is why they want to know a couple of things from me. So please don't take this video as a strict advice कि मतलब ये करो तो सब कुछ हो जाएगा. It's more of like my opinion and things that have worked for me and might work for you. So yeah, keeping that in mind, I'm going to tell you a few things which if you work on, which if you pay attention to, there's a very good chance that you're going to get through your personal interview and writing ability test of Symbiosis Law School. So there are very few things to keep in mind. Like we are going to start with the preparation for interview first, and then we are going to get into the writing part. So for interview, there are very few things that you need to be careful about. You need to be a very good listener. Yes, that is for sure a quality that is going to be demanded out of you once you are there, facing your interview, facing your panel. Because mostly in an interview, please just take a moment and actually think about this thing that I'm going to tell you right now. Mostly whenever we are in this scenario where we have to face a panel, where we have to face a group discussion or an interview or anything which will expose us to speaking, we focus a lot on how are we going to speak, how are we going to answer. But something that we don't focus on is the questions posed at us. We should be careful listeners. We should listen properly to the questions being posed at us, and then only we'll be able to answer perfectly. Alright, so this is a quality that I feel is missing in most of us, maybe in myself as well, and probably that is why I'm telling you this on such a strong note, because this is something that you will not hear from a lot of people, because people don't really pay a lot of attention to listening, which is actually a very important part in your interviews or anywhere for that matter where a group discussion is happening. Alright, so be a good listener. Be smart. Okay, by smart I mean in the way you answer, in the way you tackle the questions, in the way you are dressed. You need to dress up smartly as well. Okay, and you have to be confident. See, there's a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. Okay, don't be overconfident. Please don't be overconfident. That is the biggest mistake that you can do in your life, in any exam, any interview, or in any challenge of your life. All right, but you need to be confident. You need to believe in yourself, and confidence will only come when you know that you have prepared well. So prepare well for your interview. We often feel that okay, exam is done, this is done, now interview is not that big of a deal, we'll get through. No, that is not how it happens. I know people who had scored much more marks than me in the written test, but yet they could not clarify and get into SLS Pune because of the interview round, because they did not take the interview seriously. So this is something that I wanted to say. What else? They ask you see, I don't really have a script for this video. I'm just going to tell you whatever comes to my mind, alright? So they're going to ask you very regular and very simple questions. They're going to ask you a little bit about your academics, about the place that you're from. So know a little bit about your school, if there is some history attached to it, and about your city, some famous places in your city, what is your city known for, and what else? They're going to ask you a little bit about your family. Are there any lawyers in your family? Something like that. Where did you get the motivation from? Things like that. Okay, so some questions are going to be related to your academics, and some questions are going to be related to your personal life. That is how it was with me. Now if you want to see a dedicated video on how my experience was, what were the questions that were posed at me, what were my answers like, then you might just go and check this video, which I'm going to link somewhere here, I don't know, or in the description, okay, where I have explained everything about my experience with the personal interview session. But in this video I'm going to advise you on very simple tips, very regular things that you just need to keep in your mind and you're good to go. Something that is very important and I feel is often ignored is please be humble. Please be humble. Wear a very polite, decent smile. If you're not a person like that, I understand, because I'm not a person like that who's always polite with people. Yeah, trust me, I'm not. So but when you're in interview, you'll have to do it. You'll have to practice it with maybe a family member of yours, a friend of yours, in front of the mirror, whichever way suits you. All right, so that is all. Be humble, wear your confident smile, be smartly dressed, okay? Don't overdo it when you're going for an interview. Please don't wear makeup, please don't, but your hair should be neatly tied, or even if you're keeping it open. This is going for my female friends over there. Even if you're keeping it open, make sure it doesn't look all over the place. Make sure it is well maintained and whatever you call it, and wear formals, or you can wear Indian also, but that should also be of a little soft colors, not much prints, not much work. Try to wear something like that which will not hurt the eye and which would look very simple and subtle on you. And boys, you can wear formals, obviously, wear shirts. Please try not to fold up the sleeves of the shirt. And if you have beard, I would advise you to shave it or at least trim it. I mean, the point is, please don't make yourself look shabby, alright? Because let me make this very clear. Looks don't matter in an interview. They really don't. But personality does. So you should have a pleasant personality. That is what my point is over here. And please don't get me wrong. If you still want to, you might just go ahead and put a little bit of makeup if that is something that makes you feel confident or something. But it does not give a very good impression of you when you're wearing a lot of makeup that is shouting out in your interviews. But yeah, that's just my opinion. You might wanna differ, so that's okay. Whenever you are asked questions in an interview regarding some recent happenings, because you will be asked a couple of questions where they will want to know your opinion on it. Let's say they ask you about the hijab controversy. What is your take on that? What do you think is right? Make sure you never ever say anything which ridicules or which hurts the sentiments of people from any religion. Number one, you should be politically correct, okay? You should be diplomatic. Never go for extremes. एकदम ही ऑनेस्ट हो कि कुछ भी जो भी दिमाग में आ रहा है वो बोल देना है, ऐसा नहीं है. और एकदम ही कुछ भी they should not feel like you don't have any opinion on things, because law is a field where you need to have opinions about happenings around you. Alright, so how will you have opinions? When you will know about things. Alright, so make sure you know about things that are happening, the important things that are happening around you, the current legal knowledge you need to have. Okay, you need to have a good knowledge of the recent legal happenings. Alright, so that is something. And if you don't know something, it's all right. You might be asked a question that you don't have the answer for, you're not aware of, but just tell them something like, I'm really sorry ma'am, but I don't think I have enough knowledge to comment on this, but I assure you that I'm going to look it up and I'm going to know about it, so that they will understand that you are interested, you don't know something but you want to know about it and you're gonna look it up. All right, and yeah, I think that is a smart way to answer a question. And if you feel that you are asked a question which you don't know the answer for, then you might take a couple of seconds. Like it so happened with me, I was asked a question on directive principles of state policy. You must be knowing what it is. So I knew in my head that I know the answer, but I was not able to make it come out of my mouth. So I just asked the teacher that, ma'am, is it fine if I take a couple of seconds to answer you back? And she said yes, all right. So I took like 5 to 7 seconds and then I gave her the answer, and I could give her the right answer. And there were a couple of questions which I messed up and which I gave the wrong answers for. So no matter how well versed you are, sometimes you mess up your interviews, and that is fine. That is all right. You don't have to be extremely nervous about it. It's okay. It happens with everybody. It happens with the best of us. All that you need to be careful about is you come out as an honest individual. That is most important. What I would like to say in the end is that in an interview, they're not really testing your knowledge, because your knowledge has already been tested in the written part, in the written ability, in the entrance test. In an interview, they're testing your personality. They're testing how are you handling the questions. Are you a patient person? Do you have the capability of handling uncomfortable situations? That is, interview is all about your personality. It's all about your personality. And like I said before, there are a couple of people who feel like, I don't look good, and that is why I don't clear my interviews. I think that's, although I have not faced a lot of interviews in my life, so maybe I'm not the best person to comment on this, but guys, I really don't think so. And it's not like knowledge will not matter at all in an interview. Of course, if you're knowledgeable, if you know about things, it is going to be an edge for you. But even if you're not aware of something, your communication is good, you know how to handle a situation, an uncomfortable situation, you are going to get through, all right? Because I'm pretty sure not everybody who clears an interview answers every question, all right? They just select you because you have answered every question. No, that is not how it happens. They should like interacting with you, okay? They should be liking the conversation that they are having with you, and then only they're going to select you. I feel this way. Do let me know if you differ. And what else? Now coming to WAT, I don't like the written ability test. I don't have a lot of things to say on this matter. For WAT, if you are taking coaching, they are going to provide you with a couple of questions. Like I remember I was a student of Legal Edge, so we were provided with some 150 or 200 questions that will be asked to us in our interview, and we were also provided with a few topics for WAT, for written ability test. Okay, so if you want to go for Legal Edge, then I feel Legal Edge is the best, because I was their student personally, and it has helped me a lot in my CLAT, SLAT, ALIT, every preparation, that every exam that I appeared for. So if you too would want to enroll yourself in Legal Edge, I will leave the link of their website in the description for your use, and please check out their website. I feel Legal Edge is the best. In my opinion, it's always going to remain the best. It's a very personal recommendation from my side, because I was their student and I know the kind of knowledge they impart and the kind of experience the faculty has. And also, if you intend on purchasing a course, then you might use this code and you'll get a 10% discount. So go check it out for your benefit. All right, for WAT, I would only give you one simple tip. It's just like an essay you're writing, okay? Have a very strong introduction. Have a very, kuch aisa likho. Maybe begin it with a quote or with a question or with an anecdote. You know what anecdote is? Some example, of maybe your life, or somebody you know, or maybe somebody who is famous, and anybody, okay? So when you give that kind of a feel to your essay in the first few lines, the person who is reading your essay is reading like 50 or 60 more essays in that same day. So how are you going to make your writing look different? Probably by adding a little personal touch to it. Alright, so introduction should either begin with a quote or a question or with an anecdote, and then there is body. Your body matter will depend on the kind of topic that you have, so I can't really say much on that. And in conclusion, make sure you put in your views and opinions. Like I said, make the essay look yours. Don't just write the usual, the general things. Okay, this is what happens, this is what is happening, this. Write your views, what you think about the present scenario, whatever your topic is. I don't really know. Let's say you have been asked to write something about the Ukraine-Russia issue or something like that. So make sure you give your own personal feel to whatever you write, so that they will get to know about your views and opinions on that case, on that very case. Okay, so that is done, and I think I've told you everything. So interview ka, they'll ask you about your background, they'll ask you about your strengths and weaknesses, they'll ask you why you chose law, and like if you have been from any other stream, if you have been a science student like I was, they will ask you, why did you come to law if you're doing science? Why could not you go with something with that particular stream? So you need to have answers ready for that, and make sure those answers are genuine, and you're not really mugging up such answers, because they will get to know. They will also be asking you a couple of questions which are related to law, and like it's basic civics, like fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, rule of law, what are the kind of freedoms that we have in our country, and things like that. So yeah, to sum it up, for interview you need to work more on your personality than your knowledge, because if you really worked hard for the entrance, if you have worked hard for SLAT, for CLAT, you will be able to get through the knowledge part. Okay, this is the personality development we're talking about, so please work on that. And for written ability, I already told you a couple of points, so that was it for this video. I think it has lengthened a lot. I did not want it to lengthen so much, but it has. I'm really sorry about it, but I'm sorry. I hope you learned something from this video, and do let me know if you have any more doubts. I would love to solve them. So that was it. Thank you. Bye.